Hi, and welcome to a pregnancy, birth, and beyond Zoom workshop event, whatever you want to call it. I don't like calling it class. I feel like that's too formal, but this is just a friendly chat about all things low tox and natural wellness when we think about the space of pregnancy, being pregnant, trying to get pregnant, and then the giving birth, laboring, and postpartum as well. I mean, realistically, I could split this up into those three categories because there's so much to chat about in this space. But this is, I guess, just a taste tester of, what you can do in your family, in your life, in your body, for yourself, to prepare your body as best you can and to bring your baby into the most perfect space that you can. So first things first, I'm just going to take a screenshot because I need to, actually no, because I'm recording, I don't need to do that, I don't think. Anyway, that's all right. We'll keep moving on. I'm recording, so it's all good. I'm going to share my screen. Pop this up. Can everyone see that all right? Yes, excellent. And hopefully we get a few people still jumping in as I'm chatting. All right. First of all, thank you so much for joining. I honestly love, one, preparing for, but two, just spending nights chatting about this stuff, because usually the people who are jumping in have a similar mind or space, or are trying to like find a space where they get like-minded in terms of low tox, natural living. And I guess it can be overwhelming, but what's beautiful about coming together and having these sorts of chats is that it takes the overwhelm out of it, I think. And it means that you don't necessarily feel alone. I'm just going to shut this because there's people there and it's really loud. Oh, there we go. That's better. So yeah, I just really enjoy just chatting your ear off first, but just knowing that there's other people out there that are keen to do and be in this same space. So thank you for coming. And whether you're brand new to essential oils or you're already a junkie like I am, hopefully you learned something new from this event. So what we're going to chat about today are these things on the page. Are they safe? Taking that myth out right off the top of the bat. Oils during pregnancy, birth, and then oils for babies, and some of my favorite DIY recipes that I've pulled out of my ebook. So if you've brought a friend tonight, which I don't think there's anyone here that has, that I promised a gift to those people. So if the other girls rock up, I will make sure to ask them later. Maybe if you could chuck in the chat your name, your email address, and who you are joining this Zoom with, I would love to know that, or who you've heard about this Zoom with, because there are a few leaders in here too, so it's not just myself. All right, let's get into it. Are essential oils safe? Safe for babies, safe for us? The answer is yes, if you're using doTERRA. Not all oils are created equal, so you must use high quality essential oils, particularly when we're talking about using them on and in our bodies, and particularly when we're pregnant and with babies. There's definitely differences in the essential oil industry. So you can get a $5 rose essential oil from Kmart, and you can get a $350 rose essential oil from doTERRA. And it's not that doTERRA is ripping you off, it's that Kmart's lying to you about what's in that bottle. What I love about doTERRA is that it is incredibly transparent when it comes to exactly what's in that bottle. In fact, on the bottom of every bottle there is a code, and if you plug that code into source2you.com, it will tell you exactly where those essential oils have come from, how they've been distilled, how they've been manufactured, and then how they get to the bottle, at what time, from where around the world, all of the things. It shows you all the data and safety testing. So we know that there is 100% pure copaiba essential oil in this bottle of copaiba. There's no synthetic fillers or anything fake in there. So when we talk about essential oils, when I share what I share, it has to be from a doTERRA perspective, not from any other company. So in terms of oils to avoid when we chat through pregnancy, because a lot of people feel a bit nervous when it comes to oils and babies and pregnancy, we definitely want to show some caution with clary sage and jasmine. But from the doTERRA range, they're the only two that I would say just steer clear of, because those two can actually induce, well, wouldn't even say induce contractions. They can strengthen contractions once contractions have started. And I can attest to this because I was 40 weeks pregnant and I was like bathing in clary sage, trying to get my contractions going, and nothing would work. Baby will come when it comes, but clary sage was beautiful in supporting regularity of my contractions and things during my birth of Shiloh. So definitely just steer clear of clary sage and of jasmine as a perfume. If you have more questions around the safety of oils during pregnancy and labor and for your baby, I would follow the Essential Midwife on Instagram. I find her really helpful. She's got she brings together midwifery and essential oils, and she's really lovely. She's over in the US, but lots of information overlap for Australian hospitals and things like that as well. So there are so many other oils that people go, what about this one? Is this one safe? What about this one? Is this one safe? The answer is yes. It's all about dilution too, yeah? So when we are thinking about using essential oils, we want to think about our fetus first. And so therefore I would dilute what I would normally use on my body when I'm not pregnant. I would dilute that further because those essential oils travel through your bloodstream and therefore can go through your uterus, can go through your placenta, can go through to your baby as well. Completely safe. But I would just, reduce the dilution. If you're used to quite a bit more, then I would just pull it back down again. All right. My top tips when it comes to a low tox pregnancy. So we'll work our way through this pregnancy journey, right? Here are some of my top tips for a low tox pregnancy. Research, educate, and empower yourself. My first two pregnancies were definitely not anywhere on the realm of low tox. It was the pre-Nicola understanding this world. When I was pregnant with Sunny, I was just starting to get into this stuff, very, very scratching the surface, to the point where I was just diffusing essential oils because I wanted my house to smell nice. Then with Shiloh, it was a full low tox pregnancy and my best pregnancy yet. Even though I was chasing 3 boys under 5. So research, educate, empower yourself. I believe that there's a big chunk missing from the information that we receive from hospitals, midwives, doctors, in this normal circumstantial, whether you go through a midwife program or something like that. There's a lot missing. There's a lot of information that we're given, and I, in my first and second pregnancy, would just accept that information. I go, okay, I need to go and get my glucose test. Sure, I'll go and do that. Oh, okay, I need to get my whooping cough vaccination. Sure, I'll go and do that. Oh, I need to take Elevate. Sure, I'll go and do that. Not having any idea on if that was supporting me and my health and my wellness, if that was actually helping my baby and my baby's health and wellness as well. So yeah, research and educate's number one. Avoid Elevate. If I can say one thing when it comes to supplements, Elevate is going to go in and come back out without actually releasing anything good into your body. It is synthetic and it's so hard packed in that little tablet that it's actually not going to be absorbed by your body anyway. So it's a lot of money that just goes in one end and out the other. Instead, nourish your body. Use whole foods, use full fat butters and ghees and coconut oils to cook with. Eat lots of veggies and protein, lots of meat. Really, you know, the best way to get minerals into your body is to eat what's from the ground, what's, you know, so yeah, really nourish your body. Warm stews, soups, and things like that is how that nutrients is going to absorb into your body as well and give you the nutrients that your baby needs as it's growing. Drink filtered water. This is, I haven't deep dived enough into filtered water, but I do know that our water is filled with rubbish that we don't need, unfortunately. And I'm talking like metals, heavy metals, and chlorine and fluoride and things that we just don't want to be putting into our bodies, particularly when we're growing a human. So if you can filter your water, just get one of those awesome filter jugs. They're not going to break the bank, but you know that you're going to support your baby and your body better. Drink filtered water. Read and prepare for postpartum. So what I mean by this is I read all the books in my first pregnancy about labor, and I prepared for that one. Well, for mine, it was 48 hours of birth. And that 48 hours I was prepared for, and it went nothing the way the books told me it was going to go. And so all that research and stuff was done for nothing. And all of a sudden I was taking home a baby and had no idea how to look after myself, how to look after that baby, in terms of its health and wellness and my health and recovery after birth. And then finally, the baby doesn't need stuff. I invested in a really excellent sleep space for my baby. That was one thing that I wanted to make sure that Shiloh, you know, in difference to my other kids, was that she had a really safe organic sleep space. And that's it. I didn't get all the things that they say you need to get. I bought a couple of books for postpartum, the first 40 days and another one, and that was it. So yeah, all that stuff, I guess, is just a bit of fluff. The nursery doesn't need to be beautiful. You need to worry more about how you're nourishing yourself and looking after yourself in recovery. I would rather nowadays spend my money on like a meal service or a cleaning service in my postpartum than I would on baby stuff. So they're just my top tips to begin with. Now, I did want to just touch on this stuff because I think it's so important. Before we jump into the oils, I think it's really important for us to understand that, one, my community is not just about empowering you with how to use essential oils with you and your home. We're about the holistic approach, right? So you're not going to fix everything just with oils. There are other things that you can choose to do to detox your body, your home, your space, to make sure that it's a really low tox space. So things like clean eating, this is going to help detox your body in preparation for pregnancy and during pregnancy. One of the biggest things that we've changed in our home and we've had to adjust our budget for is eating organically. And this is still definitely a work in progress. We're not perfect, but we do aim for organic fruit and veggies and organic meat where possible. And then every time I can find, you know, some organic passata or organic pasta, things like that, that I know that I'm consciously reducing those chemicals. That's just a simple swap I can do even in grocery stores nowadays. So eating organic to reduce that layer of chemicals in our food. Choosing glass over plastic. Again, if we can avoid using things with plastic, which is leaching into our food, we're reducing a level of chemicals that our bodies don't need, and our bodies struggle to detox by themselves. If you can, stop cooking with Teflon and non-stick pans and start switching to things like stainless steel or cast iron, you'll be doing incredible things for your body and for your babies. Then we want to talk about a clean home. So this is the point where we stop using conventional cleaning products. You know, in any other circumstance, I would say just switch one by one, switch over your, you know, your multi-purpose spray when you've finished it. But at this point, if you're pregnant or if you've got a baby in your home, I'd be like chucking out that cupboard and just buying a bottle of vinegar and bicarb, because you can do so much for your home just by doing that, and for the health of your family. Certain chemicals in cleaning products, unfortunately, are linked to, and I've covered this recently on my Instagram, linked to fertility issues, birth defects and asthma, allergies, these sorts of things. Even if someone else is cleaning your home, so even if you're getting a cleaner in, those fumes, or even if your husband's doing it for you, you're not in there scrubbing the shower, those fumes can last for days in that air that you're breathing. So we have so much that we can offer you within our community in terms of home DIY options. So there's no better place to start than with us. And then I say this, I feel like I harp on about this a lot, but chuck out your air fresheners stat. If you're using a Glade plug-in, get rid of it. You're literally just poofing chemicals into your air constantly. And that's such a simple swap. If you grab a diffuser from Kmart and chuck a few doTERRA essential oils in, you're going to support your hormonal health and your reproductive system, and that of your unborn babies as well. All right. And then finally, your body. If you can support your body in reducing chemicals, you may support up to 60% of those chemicals absorbing into your bloodstream, and eventually making its way down to your baby. So there are things that you want to avoid from everything: skincare, bath, body washes, hair care, all of those things. You want to avoid things like fragrance and perfume in the ingredients, anything ending with paraben, anything ending with benzene or benzone, sulfates, chemicals ending in phthalates, aluminium, antiperspirants, all those sorts of things. Especially while you're pregnant, if no other time to do it, it's now. Unfortunately, and most of you guys on here know, cosmetic companies don't have to tell you what's in those, in that can of antiperspirant. If it says fragrance or perfume on there, that's a hidden word for hundreds of other chemicals that could also be in there. So there's lack of transparency when it comes to what's on the shelves of the supermarkets, and there are definitely better brands out there. All you need to do is Google organic low-tox deodorant and see what comes up. And obviously I live for doTERRA products. Not only do I get essential oils, but I get a whole range of home and bathroom products from doTERRA that are really low tox options and that I know are using high grade essential oils in there. So no need for fragrance or perfume. All right, some of my favorite oils and recipes during pregnancy. We all, well, if we've had a baby or about to have a baby, I'm sure at some point we've felt the dreaded morning sickness, whether that's morning, afternoon, or night, and whether that's just for the first 12 weeks or your whole pregnancy. This particular blend, peppermint, cardamom, ginger, and zengest, is my go-to blend for morning sickness. I do 10 drops of each in a 10 ml roller. I make it up and I roll it all over my belly. I'll put a drop of peppermint on my tongue. I'll grab cardamom straight up, put a drop in with a fractionated coconut oil and rub it, wherever I'm feeling rough. So many options, so many natural options to support ourselves with morning sickness. Same with anxious and low feelings. I think, the biggest change to a woman is when they first fall pregnant with their firstborn. And all of a sudden your body's changing and your, birth is looming, and the idea of bringing home a baby, that's a lot of emotions and feelings. And it can stir up anxiety. It can stir up anxiousness. And so there are so many beautiful options out there to support us for that emotional well-being as well. Stretch marks. I got to literally in labor with Rafferty, and I had stretch marks pop up during labor. So I had 40 weeks of no stretch marks, and then bam, there they were. And, you know, I love them because they allowed my baby to grow in my tummy, but it doesn't mean that if I can't get rid of them, I won't. So I use the Cellubell blend straight up. I just roll it straight onto my, where I've got them, so right on my hips and on the tops of my thighs. And I sometimes, if I'm using Yarrow Pom on my face, I will put a couple of drops and rub it straight into the same spots as well, just to support stretch marks. Some of my favorite oils for energy, which I found I lacked energy, particularly chasing after three other boys as well. Elevation, Cheer, and Motivate are really good. And I also love In Tune for energy, as well as any sort of citrus oils like wild orange, lemon, lemon myrtle. I'd make sure that those sorts of energy oils would go in my diffuser in the morning, just to get that pep in my step. Breast tenderness. When I found out I was pregnant, the first thing that I felt was that my boobs were sore. And I had that the whole way through my pregnancies. And so I would often massage lavender or aroma touch in, particularly under the lymph nodes or lymph glands under my arms to support that tenderness. And then hormonal headaches. So this is a pretty popular symptom, I guess, of being pregnant, is our hormones are just thrown all over the place when we fall pregnant, and so those headaches can really throw your day out. Ice blue, frankincense, past tense, and lavender are four essential oils that I lean on quite heavily for headaches and things. This is both during pregnancy and outside of pregnancy as well. All right, let's move on to the birth and labor. And like I said, this is just scratching the surface of support. At the end of this, I'll show, well, I won't show you, but the front page of my 60-page ebook that is available to my customers is there for you, with these plus a whole lot more of information around pregnancy and birth and postpartum. But for now, here's just some understandings around essential oils for birth. So the Zen blend for early labor. You start contracting, you're starting to freak out, going, oh my gosh, I have to go through birth. This is where you want to reach for your oils for calm and grounding. And things like clary sage at this point is incredible for our hormones and for our emotional support. Bergamot is insane, my favorite. Ylang ylang, wild orange, and frankincense. I'd be putting that kind of a blend together for like in a master blend, so I can just pop that straight in the diffuser. And I would also maybe do like a spritz, so maybe putting like 5 drops or so of each of those oils, and with some water and a little dash of witch hazel, shake it up and spritz it over me just to calm me down. And then go time blend. So that transitional pushing phase can actually last quite a while for women. And I made up a little spray again at this point, because that's the point where you want to give up. That's the point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to have this baby. I'm going home. This is too hard. Get me out of here. So yeah, this go time blend I used right at that transitional period where I was like, give me the drugs. I want the drugs. And they're like, no, 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 you're about to push. Or yeah, like I said before, you know, some women are like, okay, I'm leaving the hospital now. This baby can stay inside me. This is too hard. This is where you want that energy for that, you know, last bit. Peppermint, citrus bliss, and frankincense together. If you haven't tried those 3 together in the diffuser, go and do it tomorrow morning. It's beautiful. All right. Postpartum, in my opinion, probably where you need oils the most. We all know the baby blues. We know the endorphins that we get from having a baby, from the birth. We know about that adrenaline rush and the adrenaline crash. All of these things, like you're on this roller coaster of emotions when it comes to postpartum. And essential oils and postpartum for me just made my postpartum actually enjoyable. So cramping and abdominal support, I had really strong after pains. And so I would reach for my ice blue. I actually used the ice blue stick, the little blue stick, and I rubbed directly on my abdomen. And my Clary Calm actually used the Clary Calm, not Clary Sage, the Clary Calm stick for hormonal support. I actually rolled that over my heart quite often as well. It really helped with just calming me down there. And then Copaiba soft gels. I use the Copaiba soft gels as my Panadol or Nurofen. So when I was feeling those pains, I'd just pop a couple of those and felt immediate relief. The thing that no one talks about in postpartum, but I'm determined to, is hemorrhoids and anal fissures. It is something that 1 in 3 women experienced, and I had no idea that this was a thing. I thought it was an old person thing that happened when you're 80 plus, and hemorrhoids don't happen to young women, right? Well, apparently they do, particularly post birth. So this particular blend, Cypress Geranium, Clary Sage, Helichrysum, is I've added since then, I've added Arbor Vitae as well, which I find is amazing. So 1 to 2 drops of each of those in a spray bottle and apply each time you go to the bathroom. I tried every cream, I'm talking steroid creams, I'm talking like all of the things, doctor level prescribed stuff, and nothing healed my hemorrhoids until I got these essential oils there. And like I said, I'm determined to let every woman know that I can support you with those postpartum. And yeah, as I chatted about baby blues and the emotional support that you need after baby is born, Adaptive was my number 1. I actually also loved Console, and then Balance, Frankincense, and Copaiba as well. Beautiful for emotions. All right, babies. So again, there is a stigma attached to not using essential oils around and with young tiny babies, and I will say you definitely pull it right back. Less is definitely more. You don't need much. These babies are tiny and their skin is so permeable. You just don't need much. My 2 favorite oils right after birth is frankincense to anoint their head as a blessing, and to increase that bonding between mum and bub. So I just put some, I grabbed my Frank, I tipped it upside down, and I just put it on the crown of their head, and it just helped with that emotional connection as well. And then same with myrrh. I loved this for preventing infection on Shiloh's umbilical cord. So I diluted that really heavily down, like I had maybe 2 drops in a 10 ml roller, and I just rolled it around her belly button cord until it dropped off, and it was really clean and neat. Some of my favorite oils for baby, and I've put them here, are the following, and you don't need many. If there were 2 I could pick for a baby, it'd be lavender and frankincense, which are in our top 10 oils as well, and these 2 are the ones I'd go to first. So babies don't need much, and in fact Shiloh now is nearly 10 months old, and she's never had a product like a bath product used on her up until the last couple of weeks when we had to put sunscreen on her because we were out at the beach all day. So I literally put a drop or 2 of lavender in her bath, and I swirl it around before I put her in it. It smells beautiful. It gives her skin some sort of scent, and it's really, really gentle. It's more gentle than any product you'll find at the store. I use this to make baby wipes, bum wipes for her. I use it to make like sort of surface wipes and things that I'd use on her high chair these days. And then I'd diffuse it before bedtime. And I'd usually just switch the diffuser off when Shiloh goes to bed because it's just a bit much for a tiny baby. And then frankincense. I used this together with jojoba for the first couple of months, and then I switched to fractionated coconut oil for a baby massage after bath time, and she had that up until about 8 months old. It was only at Christmas time we stopped, so maybe she was 7 months. And yeah, it was a beautiful connection point for me and her, and it was also amazing for her skin. Her skin is, I've not seen a drop of any sort of skin irritations, dermatitis, anything like that. And I put it down to not using products with her, and this baby massage. And then I also use frankincense for cradle cap. So I'll put like a big squirt of olive oil with a couple of drops of frankincense, rub it all over the cradle cap and put on a beanie. And I'd leave that on the baby for a while, and then you could just comb off the cradle cap. And it's a really beautiful natural way of healing cradle cap. A couple of others I would recommend are Roman chamomile. Like one of my favorite smelling oils. It's sweet and calming and just really gentle for a baby, but very powerful as well. I love this in my teething rollers for babies, together with frankincense, lavender, copaiba, and clove as well if they're really struggling. And I love this in the bath, in the diffuser, for general tummy support. So colicky babies, I would use a drop of Roman chamomile to start with, maybe with like wild orange, just to support that digestion, if they're a bit constipated, that sort of thing. Roman chamomile is a real versatile oil. And then copaiba, this is like, again, the Panadol for babies as well. So any sort of restless legs, discomfort, that again, that colicky, you know, if they're sort of scrunching their legs, things like that, you can apply this to the bottom of their feet, diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and it can help support whatever's going on internally at a cellular level. Also aims in relieving pain for sore gums. You can rub copaiba neat onto their gums. It doesn't taste great, but babies don't care about taste at that point, but it will give them immediate relief from teething. Some of my favorite DIY recipes include a magnesium spray, a nipple balm, and baby powder. These are three things that I feel like, particularly the nipple balm and baby powder, that mums reach for and need early in, you know, when baby's born. And they're usually filled with crap, to put it bluntly. I mean, you've probably all heard of the Johnson & Johnson saga with their baby powder, and it's so simple to avoid. So simple. And I mean, just take a screenshot, or, you know, if you're on your phone, take a screenshot of these DIY recipes. I'm happy to share them with you. I think most of them are on my Instagram page anyway, but you can, I guess the point of me sharing these recipes is that there is always an alternative. There's always a better option. I'm not going to run through these, but yeah, like I said, take a screenshot if you want them. And I will say, like I said before, should you choose to use and utilize essential oils through pregnancy, through your birth and labor, and through your postpartum, you're not going to do it alone. If you're ready to start that journey with anyone within our community, you've got this ongoing support. And I've had so many beautiful women reach back out to me after they've had babies and said, Nicola, thank you so much for this particular recipe. It's you know, supported me. I've had a lot of people say the nipple balm is life-changing, which I can attest to. And just ongoing support of, oh my goodness, Nicola, I just had a girl reach out and say, I need a shampoo for my 3-month-old because he smells like her mum's fragrance, her mum's perfume. She goes, I need to just wash the perfume off his head. And I'm there. That's what I'm here for, is that ongoing support. I will, if you were to sign up to doTERRA with me or with anyone in our community, you get instant access to the Pregnancy, Birth and Beyond ebook that I put together. And yeah, these are just some of the things that we can support an immediate switch to a low-tox option, which is amazing. And if there's anything that you need, just message me that's not on this list or that's not in that book, and I will support you finding that. So should you start with our community? What does that exactly mean, start with our community? It means, okay, Nicola, I'm ready to grab some essential oils and start DIYing some things. I'm ready to buy doTERRA low-tox products, my cleaning products through doTERRA, things like that. By doing that, you get instant access to our community of resources. So my personal community is the Gatekeeper's Heart group. You get immediate access to these private groups, discount codes, website information, ongoing education, these exclusive workshops, and then that personal mentorship. Then there's the Nourish and Gather community. Now, I collaborate with a number of other women to create a even wider resource. And by collaborating, it means that we've like got ridiculous amounts of stuff plugged into the Nourish and Gather community. So there are even further, deeper resources at that level. And then not only that, you get the wholesale pricing. You get 25% off for a year. So it's kind of like when you purchase a wholesale membership at Costco and you enter that store and you get wholesale prices for the rest of the year. That updates every year at $25. So you get access to the rewards program, which means ridiculous freebies and promotions, and a point system. I'm not going to go into it, but there's an incredible point system where literally I don't pay for my essential oils. I buy my cleaning products and I buy my skincare products and things like that through doTERRA, and I get my oils for free on this program. It's just ridiculous. Amazing. So if you're ready to jump into this world, you today, and actually this month, you'll receive with a 100 PV order, and I'll explain the PV, what that means. It's a points value. Like I said, there's a point system. You would receive a free marjoram, which is another beautiful essential oil for babies as well. Really beautiful for digestive support, sleep support, and emotional support. This is a beautiful oil to add to your collection. If you were to do a 200 PV order, you'd get the marjoram and you'd get a Zengest and Digest Zen soft gels for yourself. That's a whole system of digestive support for mama, which would be amazing for morning sickness and things like that. And if you were to go a 300 PV order, add to that, so you'd get marjoram, Digest Zen, Zengest, and the Vetiver sleep oil. This is Valium in an oil. It is my knockout oil. If my kids are struggling to sleep, drop a Vetiver in their diffuser and they're gone. And then finally, a 400 PV order, you get everything on the screen there. So another free oils in the yoga collection. I don't do yoga, but I love these 3 oils. There's Anchor, Affirm, and Ascend, and they're beautiful blends of essential oils that create a really beautiful environment when you diffuse them. So if you're keen to host a workshop like this, if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to tell people about this, then come and let me know, get into my DMs, and I will gift you a free yoga collection just for hosting a workshop like this. So these are the gifts on offer for this month only. Some of the ideas when getting started, because people are going, okay, I'm overwhelmed. Where do I start? What do I get? You could go ahead and get a $35 membership and purchase these and be sorted for your baby. Or you could get something like a Family Essentials or Home Essentials kit. These have recently been updated and have 10 incredible oils at 2 different sizes. So the Family Essentials is 85 drops in a 5 ml bottle. Home Essentials is about 250 drops in a 15 ml bottle. And these can do your green cleaning, do your skincare, do your laundry, do all your baby, pregnancy, postpartum in a box effectively. And you could use these for lots of different things. Super versatile set of oils. So these are just some ways you can get started. Obviously, there's a myriad of other ways as well. And I thought I'd just quickly touch on the kids kits because we are talking about babies, and I often reach for the kids kit, and I've diluted a set to suit a baby. So I've got a tamer that's got a little S on it that's just for Shiloh, and I know it's diluted to her size. And that tamer roller is something I reach for when she's constipated, when she's struggling to digest food, things like that. And same goes with all of the kids collection. These are a beautiful set as well if you were thinking of older children as well. So I'm going to get out of this share. Are there any questions? I would love to answer them. Like I said, I've talked very fast, but I wanted to keep it under an hour so that you can knock off after 9 o'clock. But does anyone have any questions? Somebody did jump on before, didn't they? Did anyone see extra people jump on and off? You can chuck it in the chat if you don't want to unmute.
Yeah, there was someone else that jumped in. I didn't quite catch their name though.
You didn't get their name. Okay, that's all right.
Sorry.
I saw a Candace.
Oh, yep, Candace, that makes sense. Thank you. All right, I'll reach out to her and see where she nicked off to. It's probably kids. It's always kids, isn't it? If no one has any questions, we will leave it at that. But hopefully you've learnt something tonight. Hopefully it's sort of inspired you to make a change, a couple of changes, even just think about and educate yourself when it comes to how you approach pregnancy, your birth and postpartum, whatever stage you're at. So I'll leave it at that, but you guys know where to find me. I'm on my Instagram constantly, and I'm available to you guys, so yeah, reach out in my DMs and we will chat. But otherwise, have a beautiful night.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thank you.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye.